Welcome to Fun Facts Daily, your source for just the good stuff. Monday through Friday, we're bringing fun facts and news you can use, all carefully curated to uplift and inform. So give yourself a break, relax, and learn something awesome in just a few minutes every day. Hi everyone, I'm Kyle.
I'm Atticus.
And I'm Philly.
While every episode of Fun Facts Daily is clean and appropriate for listeners of all ages, on the first Friday of every month, I like to make a special Family Fun Friday with my kids co-hosting as we explore a topic they love and hopefully you and your family will too.
Today, we'll all be learning about Phineas and Ferb.
As a teacher, I know thinking critically is an important part of learning. It's a mental workout to keep your brain strong and healthy.
So, before we get into the facts, let's warm up our brains with a little challenge to see if you can tell truth from fiction. Consider this. Phineas and Ferb was a huge hit. But would you believe TV networks turned down the show's creators for over a decade before Disney gave them a chance?
What do you think? That be true?
We'll find out at the end of the episode. Now for your word of the day.
Our word for today is ingenuity.
INGENUITY. Ingenuity perfectly describes Phineas and Ferb. It means the quality of being clever, original, and inventive. When you use your ingenuity, you're using your smarts to come up with new ideas or to solve problems in creative ways. Just like when the boys built a giant roller coaster in their backyard. The word comes from the Latin word ingenium, which means cleverness or natural talent.
Time for your daily high five, our top 5 fun facts about Phineas and Ferb.
Number 1. Phineas and Ferb was a musical show with hundreds of original songs that helped to drive the plot.
It sounds unbelievable, but it's true. Over the course of the show's initial run, which included 4 seasons and several special episodes, the creative team wrote and recorded over 450 original songs. Even more now after they brought it back. The commitment to music was so strong that almost every 11-minute episode segment featured a brand new song, covering a huge variety of genres from pop hits like Busted to unforgettable earworms like AGLET, the Aglet song. The creators would give a prompt to the show's composer, Danny Jacob, and he would craft the tune. But these songs weren't just filler, they were a core part of the storytelling. The main song often captured the spirit of the day's invention, while Dr. Doofenshmirtz's musical jingles almost always explained the hilarious and tragic backstories behind his latest innator. This musical element gave the show a unique rhythm that made it a fan favorite for kids and parents alike.
Number 2. The whole show started with a doodle on a napkin.
This is a perfect example of how a simple idea can grow into something huge. One evening, creator Dan Povenmire was eating dinner at a restaurant in South Pasadena, California. He wasn't even trying to come up with a new show, but he started doodling. He drew a simple triangle-headed kid, and in that moment, he knew he had something special. He was so sure of it that he tore the drawing off, took it home, and told his wife, "This is the show I'm going to sell." That doodle was the very first drawing of Phineas. The simple design philosophy became the visual foundation for the entire series. The creators were inspired by the geometric shapes used in classic cartoons by animator Tex Avery. Phineas is a triangle, Ferb is a rectangle, and their sister Candace a circle. This approach made the characters incredibly distinct and easy for young fans to draw. It also streamlined the animation process, which is a huge advantage when you're producing a TV show on a tight schedule. Simplifying the character designs allowed the animators to focus on expressive movements and hilarious visual gags.
Number 3. The famous theme song for Perry the Platypus was made up on the spot during a pitch meeting.
That's right. The iconic doobie-doobie-doo-bah jingle that plays whenever Perry the Platypus slips away to become Agent P wasn't written in a studio. It was improvised during a pitch meeting with Disney executives. The creators, Dan Povenmire and Jeff Swampy Marsh, were explaining the concept of Phineas and Ferb's pet platypus also being a secret agent. When they got to the part where Perry would sneak off, Dan felt there needed to be some theme music, like a spy movie. With nothing prepared, he just leaned into the microphone and sang a jingle himself. The executives loved the spontaneous tune so much that it became Perry's official musical cue in the show. Later, a full-length song, simply titled Perry the Platypus Theme, was professionally recorded with a big band feel to capture that classic cool spy vibe. The song, which perfectly describes the suave and mysterious nature of Agent P, became one of the most recognizable and beloved pieces of music from the series, all because of a moment of quick thinking in a business meeting.
Number 4. The boy's sister Candace was inspired by the show creator's actual sister.
The classic sibling dynamic between Candace and her brothers feels so real because it comes from a real place. Co-creator Dan Povenmire has said that the character of Candace was directly inspired by his own older sister. Growing up, he felt she always thought he was getting away with things and would constantly try to get their mom to bust him for whatever he was doing. This exact relationship became the driving force for the show's most important and hilarious running gags. Candace's desperate and always doomed attempts to expose her brother's incredible inventions. But the creators were careful to show that despite her constant frustration, Candace truly loves Phineas and Ferb. Throughout the series, there are many moments where her protective side shines through. In episodes like Journey to the Center of Candace or Phineas's Birthday Cliporama, she sets aside her mission to bust them and instead joins in the fun or perhaps helps them out of a jam. This adds a lot of heart to the character, making her more than just a tattletale and showing that beneath all the stress is a big sister who really cares.
And our fifth and final fun fact for today. Despite what they say in the theme song, there are not 104 days of summer vacation.
From the very first episode, the theme song drilled a single fact into every viewer's head. There's 104 days of summer vacation. The thing is, that wasn't based on average lengths of summer vacations. Most schools give students around 70 days for a summer break. They came up with 104 days based on their estimates for how long the show would last. Initially, they thought they might get 2 seasons or about 52 episodes made, with each episode having 2 11-minute segments. 52 times 2 would be 104, and thus the claim in the song. Of course, the show was wildly popular, and in the initial run, it had 129 episodes with 222 segments, representing far more than 104 days. Although there is something charming about the way they cling to that number, as in the revival, they had Bowling for Soup sing, "There's 104 more days of summer vacation." Now for some news you can use.
Want to be a super inventor like Phineas and Ferb? Here's a tip to get you started.
It's a technique called creative constraint. Phineas and Ferb have a big constraint every episode. They only have 1 day to build their amazing inventions before their mom gets home. This might seem like it would make things harder, but having a rule or a time limit can actually boost your creativity. When you have fewer options, your brain has to work harder to find a clever solution. You can try this at home by giving yourself a huge challenge, like building a castle using only cardboard and tape, or trying to write a whole story in just 15 minutes. You might be surprised by the ingenious ideas you come up with.
Now for the moment you've been waiting for.
At the beginning of the episode, we asked if the creators of Phineas and Ferb were rejected for a decade before they found a network to develop their show.
That's 100% true. In fact, it was a bit more than a decade. Dan Povenmire and Jeff Swampy Marsh first came up with the idea and drew the sketches way back in 1993. They pitched it to multiple networks like Cartoon Network and Fox Kids, but everyone said no. They never gave up on their triangle-headed kid, though. While they worked on other hit shows like Rocko's Modern Life and SpongeBob SquarePants, they kept their portfolio with Phineas and Ferb in it, ready to show to anyone who would listen. Finally, in 2006, Disney Channel saw its potential and said yes. It's a real-world story of perseverance that's just as inspiring as one of Phineas and Ferb's inventions.
I hope you enjoyed learning about Phineas and Ferb with us.
And be sure to tune in every weekday for more fun facts.
Have a nice day.
Fun Facts Daily is an Airwave Media podcast. It was written, recorded, mixed, and edited by us, Kyle, Atticus, and Philly. Thanks for sharing a part of your day with us. Be sure to follow Fun Facts Daily on your favorite podcast app so you can keep the good stuff coming your way every day. And if you like the show, please do me a favor and leave a kind rating, review, or just tell your friends about it.